Hello and good morning, good night, good evening, wherever you may live. Almost had to leave. Um, Thank you so much. We're very thankful that you come here every day and people that watch the recording. Thank you so much. I want to do a shout out. I've had a couple people send me super stickers, but they're stickers that are put on the comments as they watch the recording, and I want to thank you for that. That's a big deal, and I always want to point that out. And if anybody does what you're not expected to, we'll at least shout you out. That's the least we could do. Anyway, whew, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play a Shine the Light. They're all about 50 seconds. I don't have anything longer on here. If they're 2, 3, 4 minutes, I put them on YouTube as a standalone because they're a little bit longer. Also, I'm going to say this again for anyone watching this. Whatever YouTube channel you're on right now, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. And what I mean is, there's a little button there that says subscribe, click it. You'll see a little bell. The bell actually will notify you when a video comes on. Okay, so don't forget. And really important, it means a lot to us. Thumbs up. What I'm looking at now, and I want to let this know for sure. Everybody understand, and I mean this. If you know me, uh, down the road as time goes on, videos do not disappear. They're here forever, right? So a lot of people are doing Shine the Light. Your videos will be on here. People will come on to um, look at people to see who they can relate to, and it might be you. So the more attraction we get to the YouTube to start with, because I don't think we even started yet. But once we get going and the world starts to learn about Onpassive, there'll be a lot of traffic coming to our YouTube channels. At that point, your video will be shown, and we all work together. And I'm not asking you to build the channel or make videos for us. I'm just saying, like, subscribe, and give a thumbs up. It's a big deal, and we really appreciate it. And by the way, my thought now uh, is looking. Well, my thought always is looking ahead, but during the founder build up in the last couple of years, 3, 4, 6 years, was working with people and getting people to understand what all about Onpassive. That's still going on, but now I'm adding the future, where we're going. And I want everybody to think the same. You have different techniques, but I want people to start focusing on who you are, what you can be, and where we're going. That's all. And I'm just emulating in a small way, trying to emulate what Ash is doing and where he wants to go. Because I think we're the most fortunate individuals on the planet to be here now during the journey. Anyway, let me play one of the Shine the Lights, and I'll be right back. This is somebody from the deaf community in Mexico, I believe.
I know what she said. You want to know what she said? To all those people wondering what she said, she says, I want to thank Onpassive. I want to thank the founders. I want to thank Amplify. I am so excited, and I love you all. There you go. And I don't
I
even speak
believe
sign
that.
language, but
Now, before we get started, Chris, say hello.
hello, I'm Chris. How you doing, my brother?
Fantastic. You know that. You know I'm doing fantastic. Anyway, what I had thought about, what we've all been talking about here on the lives is taking advantage of the situation, us being on the platform, becoming the best part of you, learning that you are in an area that is fertile ground for you to be 100% of who you are. Nobody ever ask any of us to be somebody else, and don't even try it. It's enough trouble. Life is hard enough just taking care of ourselves, right? Also, I've been saying for months, years, no one should be looked at as at a different level like you would the military. I'm a private, he's a sergeant, he's a captain. I am a founder of Onpassive. I found a lane that I love. I love working with people. Chris loves people. Automatically, we were drawn together. It's just the way things are. So you seek what you want, and everything else falls into place. And I love everybody that I've got to know. I want to meet more. For example, some of the people that have been coming on the Shine the Light, we now talk to them outside of Shine the Light. That's the point. I want to meet new people around the world. We had another one last night. A guy from Turkey did a video. It played a couple hours ago. To me, that is cool because the power of the company, like I've said, is so strong with the people and what kind of people we are. You got a couple people that aren't. And what I wanted to bring up, thinking about stuff that's happened in my life growing up, going from going into business at 18 and working there until I was 42, and all the levels I had moved up in the company well beyond what paperwork would say that I did. And that was through driving myself, stepping out of my comfort zone because I had to. I had to here. I felt that I had to. Wasn't forced to. There was two things in my life early. I got married when I was 20. We've been married, oh boy, 44 years.
Are you sure? Are you
Yeah.
sure? You better ask Don.
No, absolutely. I got married in 80. 44, I just couldn't believe the number. When I was thinking about it, is it really that long? 44 years. And during that time of growing, I learned things. I learned things that I was bad at. And you got to be willing to change. I'm going to go through that because maybe you can, maybe it'll resonate with you. For one is being quick to judge. And what I mean by that is in my life, and there's two ways of this, and I found myself falling victim to it. One was you look at somebody, they look different, they sound different, and you could go to the positive or you could go to the negative. Now, a lot of people say, what do you mean by that? It doesn't make sense. Well, if you really go in deep, and all this is going to lead back to positivity. It really is. It's going to lead to feeling better, healthier, and it's good for you. And this is what we're meant to be. And it's judging people so quickly. And yes, I did it. I would tell everybody in the world, oh, I don't judge people. I wait. But no, sometimes we do. I'm going to give you an example. And this is the worst type of judgment. And I'm going to explain what I mean. When somebody feeds you the judgment they have on somebody, and you go, yeah, and you accept that as the law. That's a big mistake. I've had people tell me, oh, this person's no good, this person's this person's that, and fall victim to, well, then they must be. I came in this world alone and naked. I'm leaving the same way. I try not to do that. I try to say, okay, the reason I'm worried about even hearing it is because I'm afraid I'll follow it. And I have. And I'm sorry for that. I really try not to. And it's happened through all of life, right? From 2,000 years ago. The word judgmental is a negative word, describing someone who often rushes to judgment without a reason. That's worse. That's direct. Oh, look at this guy. Look at him. He's got a ponytail. He's fat. He must not care about himself or anybody. I mean, all these crazy things. You didn't walk in that lady's shoes or that man's shoes or live their life. And we have no right. I have no right. I don't want to talk for you, but I'm just giving you an example how this can help you build a better you and get to a more positive outlook, even when things are bad, really bad. And when you become judgmental, you become closed-minded because it's a weak person in here, not muscle. It's so easy to be judgmental and negative because then you don't take a chance. You don't take a chance on anybody. You automatic in your mind, they're no good. You know, I don't trust them. But listen, there's a lot of things in life we shouldn't trust. But I'm telling you, part of this came out. I believe this, but look at it, Ash Mufara. He is extremely the opposite of judgmental. I don't even know what that is. Extremely the opposite. And some people say it to a fault. I don't think it ever can be a fault. Well, would someone like Ash, or who is the opposite of judgmental, run into some issues more than people that are? Why? Because he pushes ahead of it. He wants to think the best in everybody. And if he runs into a rotten apple or a rotten egg, he doesn't say, this guy did this, so that means everybody from that country is that way, or everybody from that family is that way, or everybody that looks like him is that way. And I'm only saying this because it happened looking back as I was growing and to be better at talking to people and understanding people with empathy and trying to understand how they feel, or even though you can't, like I lost my two brothers 2 years apart. I was 8 and 10 years old. It was devastating. I remember when I lost my brother in Vietnam, I was in school and they were doing show and tell, and one of the kids had a paper, and the show and tell was showing my brother died in Vietnam. It was devastating. And as a young kid, I'm going, that guy's no good. That little boy's no good. He's nasty for doing that. Not only is he nasty, his family's nasty, mom and dad, and that would start filling up in my head. And all it was, a kid shared it. He didn't know how it would make me feel. How could he know? Looking back, I'm saying, looking back and judging things to make a better me, try to help me be better. So don't do that. There's other things like when you get to, I remember, I think the other day, me and Chris looked at the speech. Oh, no, I copied the speech of Martin Luther King and I put it in the chat. Chris looked at it and I'm like, wow, you know, it's so powerful. You have to remind yourself. And by the way, I'm going to go all over the place because that's me. But I constantly have to remind myself. That's why people say, oh, he says the same thing every week. He says, no, there's a little twist to it. But you know why? Humans need to be charged. We need to be reinforced constantly in a good way. But anyway, in that one statement that Martin Luther King made. He said, I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I've never been black. Never. And there are people that are white like me and judge black people and don't know what it's like to walk in a black person's shoes. Let me give you an example. My grandchildren live with me. They're mixed. They have a little bit of white cracker and a little bit of African American, okay? So they're a little darker than white. There was a conversation I have to have with my grandson that I wouldn't have to have if he was just some white dude. Right? Think about this for a minute. Think about the conversation and how they have to talk to their black children. And people say, I don't know what you're talking about. They got it. No, that's being judgmental. I'm telling you. When a policeman pulls up and these 4 kids are there, and one of the kids is 6'2" and looks like he's 18, 19, and his friends are with him and they come to his boobs. The cops pulled up and thought Jaden was an adult messing with the children. And because he's a young kid, he may not know what to say, what to do, and they get nervous, they throw him to the ground. I'm not saying that, I'm not blaming cops. This has nothing to do with that. Thank you for the super sticker. Oh, it's my buddy Guyana, the guy that...
Monk from New York.
The monk from New York. Thank you very much. That means a lot. So he came home and I thought for a minute, oh my God, that's judging. When the cops pulled up, they judged. Now, sometimes they have to do some kind of analysis. I get it. Because some judge killed a man a couple of years ago, knelt on his neck until he died. Now, and then some people said, well, he was a drug dealer anyway. I was an alcoholic. I would hope somebody wouldn't put their knee on my neck until I died. If it happened to a white guy, it would have been chaos. So whatever, just stop. We got to stop judging. But I told my grandson, when a policeman comes up, be very respectful, listen to every word they're saying, and do it. Don't be a smart mouth. Now, I would obviously tell my white son, but it's not as critical. Now, white people say, oh, he's full of crap. No, it's not. Things are different for everyone. And I'm not judgmental. I'm just telling you. Look, I guarantee, Fit Modest, thank you for the super sticker. I'm telling you that when you go and you do stuff, and because the world is judgmental, prime example, when the flu came over from so-called China, we don't know exactly what happened, doesn't matter. Somebody said something nasty, everybody hated Chinese. To the point that an 80-year-old man's walking down the street and some guy came up, tackled him, and beat the hell out of him. Like that guy had anything to do with what's going on in China. He judged him for the whole nation. Come on, we got to, and I'm saying, it starts with, that's drastic, but there's a little bit of judgmental. I've had people tell me, oh, this founder's no good, this one's no good, this one you can't listen to. I don't take it to heart. I can't live who I am and do that. There are some people that I talk to that don't get along with somebody else. That's okay. Abdi, thank you. But I think we are, in Onpassive, we should be a non-color. We should be, let's just go by Asmupara. Okay? We should be or try to be like him. A true Onpassive person, if you go by the person that's running this whole thing for us, I guarantee when Ash gets out of the car and walks up, he's got the Mideastern look and he's judged as soon as people see him. Guarantee it. But it's going to take, we have to, listen, we're going to have money and we're going to go across the world and we're going to change this world because of Ashmufar and his thought of making 1 million Mother Teresas. No doubt about it. But a lot of that has to do with our character and who we are. When you hear negative or you hear someone judging somebody, tamper it down. Say, no, just hold on. Let's look at the good in people. I know it's hard to do sometimes. I'm not trying to tell you something that, oh, that's simple, I could do it. No, it's not simple. Listen to people with empathy. Listen to them, truly listen. Try to understand and be there for them. Last night, Julie Pierre talked about her daughter. I was speechless. What do I come in and say? I know how you feel? It's a lie. I don't know how she feels. Is she devastated? Yes. Absolutely. And life will throw stuff at you that you can't bear. But things are temporary. And I believe in the power of prayer. That's me. Am I forcing that on you? Do I not like you if you don't believe that? No, I don't. But I've seen too many things in my life. My mom never took us to the doctor. My whole life. All of us. Somebody got sick or there was a problem, we prayed about it. No joke. My whole life. I never went to a doctor until I was 25, 26 years old. Never, except when I was born. And she would have had a midwife, but my dad was in the military and we traveled around. Everything was prayer. I thought it was normal growing up. Till I went to a neighbor and they one of my friends got sick and they've got aspirins and all these things this kid's taking. I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it be easier just to pray to God and let him take it away? That's how much, and for them, I'm naive. But it wasn't that way for me. Prayer answered everything. Anyway, I just want to say that. But let's not judge, okay? Let's not judge. And sometimes we judge because we have a problem. We feel something. We feel inadequate. But if you point out somebody else, maybe you feel better. That's horrible. I'm going to give another story, and I'm not trying to get religious, but when Jesus went onto the Mount of Olives, the story, it was early in the morning, and he went into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and was teaching them. He's Jesus, okay? That's what he did. He was teaching people about a new way. Because the law changed, remember, at that point. The day he was crucified, the law of Moses now went into the law of Jesus and salvation, where we are now, if you know Christianity. I don't try to quote Bibles and all that. I can't, but it's in here, right? Like Onpassive is in here. And scribes and Pharisees come up and they drag this lady up. Now remember, the scribes and Pharisees, what they were really trying to do is catch him saying something or not obeying Moses' law. That's the reason they did it. Now, obviously, Jesus had discerning, right, more than probably anyone else, and he knew what they were trying to do. And they brought this lady up that was caught in adultery, caught in the act, it says. And when they had set in her midst, they said unto him, Master, hey, this lady, she was caught in the act of adultery. That's when the Pharisees and all these are thinking, now Moses' law commanded us that such thing, they should be stoned. That's what they're saying to Jesus. You know, Moses' law said they should be stoned. What do you say? Trying to trap them. Let's put it in today's words. They were trying to trap him. Then he said unto them, as they said to him, they're trying to tempt him, that they may have accused him, right? So if he doesn't go by the law, okay, now we can arrest this guy because of what he did. He said, no, if Jesus came up and made a commandment at the time, no, don't do that. You shouldn't do it. Don't judge her. He'd be in big trouble. But he wasn't done with his work yet. It wasn't time for him to go to be crucified. But Jesus stooped down on the ground and with his finger wrote on the ground. Okay, today's terms, he's doodling. He's just running his finger, writing stuff, whatever, like you do. He acted like he didn't hear him because wisdom's starting to kick in. So they kept asking, hey, we got this lady here. We caught her. You know what the law says? We should be throwing rocks at her and kill her. And he finally stood up and he said, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Okay. He said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Whoever doesn't have sin, starting with whoever, you start casting stones. And then he went back down and started doodling and writing in the dirt. And they that heard it, being convicted of their own consequences, they started thinking, wait a minute, I got sin. The next one, the next one, the next one. And beginning at the eldest and even unto the last. And they left one at a time. And the only thing left was the woman. And he said to the lady when he stood back up, and he said, I see that the people that accused you have left. And the woman said, yeah, they're gone. And he said, so no man condemned you? She said, no. She said, no one. And he said, and Jesus said to her, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. That story seemed like a private story, but thousands of years later, we hear it. Why? So we could learn from it. Hey, we should do this, we should do that. One time, all the disciples came up, and there was another group of people that were talking about God, but they weren't really with them. So they went back to Jesus and said, hey, shouldn't something be done to them? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, no, leave them alone. They're thriving to do good, and you shouldn't be judging them. You have no right. Anyway, I hope I didn't bore people, but I just want to say all of these little tools, personal tools, because let's remember, Ash has all the tools for physical tools or digital tools. Anyway, I think that was that came to me last night and this morning, and I thought, you know, that's what I want to talk about. So I want to thank everybody. I'm done for right now, but I think if we work on that together and really try to look at the good in people, yes, you will get more grief sometimes, but the outcome is amazing, because people will be coming into this company because of the heart and because our character and that we care and we show that we care. It's not lip service. We don't judge so quickly. If there's somebody in Onpassive that you don't care for, keep it to yourself. but always try to work with people. I'll tell you, there's examples that I've seen, and my friends here have seen, well, go do this. No, no, no. It was almost like they're our enemy. I said, yeah, but if you go and act like they're not, the only one that has an enemy is them against you. If you pretend like you don't know, Jesus acted like he didn't hear them. Enemies takes two. Enemy is one. And with one, you can't have an enemy. They may not like you, but if you don't like them back for whatever reason, it's never good enough usually. That's enemies, and that's judging. And what happens if team one doesn't like team two and there's 5 on each? You've got 10 people that don't like each other. What happens when there's 1,000 on each? Now you got 2,000 people that don't like each other. And some of those people don't even know why they don't like team two or team one. So I think we can work on that and make things better. I hope that made sense. Didn't mean to preach, but I'm going by how I feel and what I've seen. And if it helps you, that's all I can ask. Go ahead, Chris.
Good morning, brother. I love you. I don't know how I'm going to follow this. I will try. Number one, I want to wish Minnow and Jean a happy 30-year anniversary. I could be on the show tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better. My voice is still a little scraggly, but we're getting there. Wow, Marty, that's pretty good conversation there. And I don't want to preach on it too much because I think you said it all, but remember this too, guys. Being judgmental in this world has created a lot of wars and a lot of deaths because one country doesn't like the other country because the way they wear their headpiece or the way who they pray to. If people would just learn to get along and stop being judgmental on something because you don't like it, because you don't like something, it gives you no rights to hate anything. And I think that's a big part of this world's problem here. But I try not to hate. I get angry. I get mad because I'm a normal human being. But hate, it's just one of those things I don't like using because hate, again, causes many people to die, many wars, many crazy people coming out. Marty, you touched on just about everything that I could even think of what you were saying. And yeah, we can always relate things back to the Bible, which I love doing because that's how I try to live my life. I'm not perfect. Don't ever think I am because I'm not. I have my ways about me that are not perfect like everyone else. But I think the thing here is we see a lot of people in the last, for me, almost 4 years coming up here soon, being judgmental toward us because we're trying to talk about something that's really good. And I don't know why a lot of people, they like to heckle. You know why? Because it's easy to do. Social media, I've said it for the last 3 weeks, is a very, very dangerous weapon sometimes where you could say something about somebody, even the leaders of all countries calling someone a name or saying they're evil or this or that. Listen, I got news for you. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret, but there's good and bad in every race in this world. There's good and bad and white people, black people, Asian people, Martians, we'll say, because someday they may come out of nowhere. But no matter what, we're always going to have someone that's going to hate. And you're not born to hate. You're taught to hate. You're taught to even judge. And you might get that from your parents, your grandparents, because believe it or not, a lot of them didn't know any better. I was brought up in a pretty good family. My parents were raised in Detroit. I heard a lot of stories from my father and what they saw coming in Detroit back then. They all got judgmental. Oh my gosh, that guy's, he's a killer. He's a rapist. He's whatever. You know, that's not true. Don't believe people when they say that. Study for yourself. I had a guy at work one time, I might have told this story. A young African-American, black, however you want to call him, better tan than me. He said, they called me yard dog. Are you racist? I said, I've never been racist, but I tell you what, if you punch me in my nose, I'm going to be mad at you, but I'm not going to hate the entire race. And that's what happens sometimes. Someone gets hurt or injured or in a fight with another person of maybe a different religion or a color. Next thing you know, for some reason, people are programmed in their mind to hate the whole race. World Trade Center. What do we do to Muslims right after that was blown up? Everyone hated Muslims, right? They couldn't get on a plane. They couldn't do anything. Very, very unfair how people treat people in this world today. How governments treat people. You know, we do have people that are starving in a lot of countries right now because of governments. What's his name? Jin Young Hoon Wang, whatever his name is. All right. He's an idiot. I'm sorry. I'll be judgmental of him. He's letting his own people starve while he lives like a king and he doesn't care. Well, I'm going to let y'all know is me. I know Marty. I definitely know Ash Mafara does care. And we don't care color, religion, size, disability. We do care about everyone. And when we get on here and we talk to you every day about this amazing company that's going to completely change the world and better it, we're doing that for a reason. This isn't a platform I'm going to come on here and talk about God and my religion, because I really do respect all religions. I think my personal opinion is everyone prays to the same God. We just got different ways of talking about it. But I shouldn't hate anybody for praying a different way or wearing different clothing or even have a funny name. Okay? Non-judgmental. By the way, sometimes, listen, I got a pretty good sense of humor. And we might have had a fast one pulled on us the other day, but it's okay. It happens. It's on my YouTube. I'm not taking it down if you don't know about it. Okay? Why am I not taking it down? Because I didn't want this person, whoever it was, to be let down. Yep, the name is funny. It's funniest name I've ever heard. And I won't say it, but you can go to my YouTube and you can watch it yourself. I had the other channels tearing me apart, judging me, saying I don't watch videos, and this is newsflash to all of you. Marty and I watch all the videos. All right. We don't just monitor them, we watch them because we're supposed to watch them. We want to understand how people think, where they're from, even if it's in sign language. I'm learning sign just by watching these individuals, which I love. But hey, okay, you got one over on us. But guess what? I'm not taking it down because it was kind of funny. I chuckled. And the individual that did it, good for you, man. You got one over. Matter of fact, you didn't hurt me, but you made me laugh, and that's okay. I don't like laughing at other people's disabilities or their expense. But you know what? Hey, I don't hate you. Should I hate you? Or should I hate these other YouTube channels that are negative toward us? Excuse me. No, I don't hate you. I might not always like with you. I might not always agree with you. But there's no reason to hate you. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. We all have opinions. But mine's always right. Don't forget that. This is the greatest company in the world. I will continue to say that. Marty DeGarmo will continue to say that. We're not racist. We're not bigots. We're not cult members. We're none of those things that a lot of people say about us. What we are is average people that want something that everyone wants, a better life, better finances, dreams that we've never been able to do. And that's Onpassive. And I remember one time in my life that was America. All right. And things have changed. Why have they changed? Because we literally, America's the melting pot. We have people that came in with different dreams. And when I say that, some people want to build farms. Some people want to have restaurants. Do I knock any of those people that are trying for a better life? No, I applaud them. I'm 100% behind anyone that is trying to better their life, even if it's working in a factory for 32 plus years, because they're bettering their life. Never knock a person. Number one, never knock a person with a disability. Never bully anyone. I joke around a lot. I do. If I go too far, I usually catch myself and I apologize to people. But the world's it's too little to be bullying people. It's too little to be judgmental. All right? I pray every day there are no wars. I pray every day for peace. I don't know if you know that about me yet. I don't know if you know that about Marty yet. We got a lot of the same religious backgrounds and beliefs. But one thing we're both 100% sure on is Onpassive. And what Amplify is doing for us, has done for us, and continues to do for us. Okay? Don't ever forget that. All right? I'm going to be dead someday. Someday I'm going to die. I hope you can look back on YouTube and say, look at this guy. And look where Onpassive's at today. He really believed this, and look what happened because he believed in something. He took a chance. He took a chance. He held his faith, and he believed in something, which a lot of people today, I think, have a hard time believing in anything because there is a lot of hate and wrong in this world. All right, go out your front door today and smell that fresh air. Smell that free air. There's a lot of goodness in this world, man. And there's a lot more that's coming. Don't let evil or judgmental or bullies knock you down. And if they do knock you down, get up and walk the other way. What is that? Turn the other cheek, we say. Now, for me, that's probably a little harder to do if someone, wants to punch me in the face. I probably would react like a normal human being because I'm normal. But there's no reason to hate an entire one portion of the world because someone slapped you or someone made fun of you. So you can make fun of me all you want. I don't care. I think it's funny. I got a great sense of humor. You can make fun of Marty DeGarmo all you want. I have a really big sense of humor for that one. But I want to say is I love you all. And yeah, we went off a little crazy on this one today. And maybe because we like talking from our heart and telling you how we feel. And that's okay. We've listened to thousands of people and their stories. Good, bad, ugly, crying, horrific. But we're all here for every one of us. Onpassive is one tight-knit family. It is not going anywhere. I can promise you that. And I think soon. Don't know when. I think you're going to see a lot of things start happening here. So hang on tight. Don't ever forget the love that Amplify has showed to all of us for what he's doing. But give him a lot of thanks for it. Thank his wife, thank his kids for the sacrifices that he makes for his family. But we're his family. Don't forget that. Marty DeGarmo, back to you, brother.
Well, I love this session. I hope we help. It looks like some people are happy about it. So we all, like Chris said, we say what we feel. And it's all about us, though, really. I mean, I was saying that to everyone. And I wasn't projecting what I feel. I was talking to me, too, okay? I was a bystander of my own talking. Same with Chris. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget, 360 is scheduled for 2 p.m. That hasn't changed yet. If anything does, because Ash is working like a crazy man, I don't know, 18, 20 hours a day. If he came back in an hour and said, I can only come at 12, we'll change it. But right now, it's at 2 o'clock. Okay. If he can make it, he'll have the link. Don't worry about that. And remember something, if he can make it, he wants to be there. But if it has to do with getting something done for us as a company, he might take that route first. Because Ash loves giving, and he wants to give us big stuff. Trust me. Ash loves us happy. And that's what he's trying to do, as crazy as it sounds. Anyway, love y'all. See you at 2 o'clock. Me, Chris, and Red, and Mr. Mufara, if he can make it. And have a great rest of your day. Bye. Say bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
That's it. See.